we cannot ignore the unrelenting violence that rural communities continue to face each and every day. These are often not opportunistic crimes. They are calculated, they are brutal, and they often feature.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning once again. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do understand that I am not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who is also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our beautiful country. Now. The way the DA is moving these days, as they look like they are beginning their campaign towards 2026 local government elections, they are certainly coming for that rural vote, the vote that was normally easy to get for the ANC. And they are not going to be the only party that is going for that vote. Many political parties always go there. But with the ANC below 50% now, their attempts will be impactful, I do believe. But you are allowed to have a different view in the comment section. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the DA in Parliament arguing about the rural crime. Now, the difference is, yes, it brought in a lot of farm unalivings, but the difference this time around, they look like they are the people who are looking for solutions instead of that propaganda that was pushed. He even said it is not about a preference or what, but it's just the protection of farmers. But it's something that he said, it speaks a lot of rural safety, something that I understand very well. We know what is happening in our village. So when you group it like that and you come with solutions, what is supposed to happen, believe me, you got my ear. We have relatives that we've lost because of cattle theft and the general crime, coordinated crime that is happening in the villages that involved cattle theft. Serious people who were contributing positively to our community have now passed on because of that, especially the ones that were protecting the community and their cattle. Those are the people that have been unalived the most, and followed by those who were involved in this theft, in this crime. They've been fighting for thefts, also fighting for shares and all of that. So when you talk about village crime going unmonitored and there is no proper planning and cases being thrown out of court, I know this very well. And it hurts to see somebody that was supposed to be in prison having unalived your relative walking the streets, and there is absolutely nothing you can do. So they will get an ear if they can go like this to the village and sound the way they are sounding. I'm telling you, the ANC will not have an easy ride this time around. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to share with you what the DA said in Parliament. Also, he spoke about NPA there, and made an example of a case of somebody that was brutally unalived. And at the end of the day, the people who were supposed to be in prison were released, and because the case was struck out of court and the people walked free. So when people who are capable of committing such a crime because of the failures of NPA, and now we have this type of people walking the street, who knows what they are doing again? Where? Who knows what is happening? So these are serious things to talk about. So whatever your views are, kindly leave them in the comment section. So I'm going to leave you listening to what happened in Parliament via the DA.
Women, as I rise today once again to demand that farm attacks and rural violence on both farmers and farm workers be prioritized as a matter of national urgency in our policing policy and security framework. Just earlier this week, I tabled a motion on behalf of the Democratic Alliance before this very House, not simply as a procedural act, but as a principled stand to call for farm attacks and rural crime to be designated as strategic priorities within the annual crime threat assessments and the operational planning of the South African Police Service. This is not only to protect the food producers of the country, but to defend every South African who labors in our agricultural heartlands under constant threat of violence. The data may show that murder is down overall by 12.4% in the last quarter. And while we welcome that decrease, we cannot ignore the unrelenting violence that rural communities continue to face each and every day. These are often not opportunistic crimes. They are calculated, they are brutal, and they often feature torture, rape, and execution-style killings. Many of these attacks are disproportionately violent, leaving their victims mutilated or tortured. In one of the most harrowing cases in our country's quite recent history, Willemientjie Potgieter's father was stabbed more than 150 times with a garden fork, amongst other things, an act of unimaginable cruelty that reflects a sadistic intent behind some of these crimes. I've personally spent time with survivors who were raped during attacks after being shot, and one elderly woman near Fochville had electric drill holes bored through her feet as a form of torture, and the list goes on. These attacks are not just crimes against individuals, they are attacks on the constitutional right to dignity, life, and to safety, and they are attacks on the very viability of our rural economy, on food security, employment, and national stability. Honourable members, the criminal justice response to rural crime has for far too long been fragmented and reactive. The rural safety strategy, adopted with much fanfare, remains inconsistently implemented and underfunded, and without clear accountability. Crime intelligence in rural areas is scarce to non-existent. Rural police stations remain understaffed, under-resourced, and overwhelmed. And a recent SAP strategic briefing highlighted once again the need for an intelligence-led policing model to guide operations, a move that the DA wholeheartedly supports. But this must not remain in the realm of theory. It must translate into rural deployments backed by crime analysts, actionable intelligence, and swift prosecution-led investigations. What we have instead are rural police reservists that have been removed from service, sector policing that's virtually absent, and no specialized rural crime units to really speak of. During our oversight visits to specialized units, whether it's the flying squad or anti-gang units, it has become abundantly clear that in parts of SAPS, there is no real unified operational capacity to deal with the crisis of rural crime. Vehicles often lie broken in garages, critical posts remain unfilled, and unit commanders are operating with outdated technology, poor morale, and no clear directives for flailing senior management. Deputy Speaker, we must no longer ask whether rural safety should be prioritized. It's so obvious that it must. We must now ask why this hasn't been done already. It is a failure in some parts by parts of the South African Police Service management, a symptom of poor planning and unwillingness to align our operational footprint with our national priorities and best interests. One of the most disgraceful illustrations, as one of the previous speakers mentioned, of the systemic failure is the case of 81-year-old Hendrik Venter, who was violently murdered on his farm in Kuruman in the Northern Cape in September 2024. He was found with 3 deep stab wounds to the head, a horrifying example of brutality that some of these rural citizens face. SAPS activated its much-touted 72-hour activation plan and arrested all 5 suspects within days. But instead of justice, what followed was a complete collapse in investigative rigor. Forensic delays, missing documentation, and prosecutorial failures compounded until, in May 2025, the case has now been struck from the court roll. The suspects were all released, not because they were found innocent, but because the state failed to be ready. Another brutal farm murder followed by institutional indifference. It's simple to say then that it is not justice, it's a disgrace. And to make matters worse, some politicians from radical parties continue to openly sing about or romanticize the killing of farmers, while the extremist supporters celebrate these attacks on social media. This kind of hate-filled incitement does not embolden perpetrators, it simply undermines our constitutional democracy. We therefore call on the Minister to direct SAPS to do the following. 1. Include farm attacks in SAP's annual crime threat analysis and station operational plans as a priority crime. Establish dedicated rural crime capability or capacity within the DPCI. Fully implement a revised intelligence-led and evidence-based rural safety strategy, in close partnership with local farm watchers and community structures. 4, fully restore the hollowed-out SATS reservist program in rural areas with a focus on recruitment of firearm-competent, well-vetted members of rural communities. And 5, report quarterly to this House on rural crime data, prosecutions, and resource allocations to combating this scourge, with a renewed focus on prosecution-led investigations to ensure that arrests lead to convictions and justice. Deputy Speaker, I close by reminding the House that a government that cannot secure its farms cannot feed its people. This is not a cry for special treatment. It's simply a call for equal protection under the law. For every farm worker, every farmer, every family, and every dependent. We owe them more than just sympathy. We owe them to keep them safe. And so far, we've been failing. I thank you.
And if you watched up to here, I'd like to say thank you for watching my videos. And the next time you bump into my videos, kindly watch my ads in full. That support really goes a long way. And to those who are already watching my ads in views, nditenkosini kakhulu guys, ndiyabulela kakhulu. And don't forget to leave your comments in the in the comment section. I'm looking forward to reading those. Do have yourself a beautiful day.